Hi, Vito. Let's have a look at this then. Present tense is the scene in Scarface. Now, Scarface, you don't need the inverted commas. You put it in italics. That's the code. Yeah. They have plotted to kill him, I think. Yeah. Okay, I'd take this out. I don't think that does you any good. Now, when you say the camera switches, you need to describe the opening shot, okay? So the long shot that we see. The other thing that you haven't said is that the camera is moving, that there's a kind of the camera circles, if you like. Have a look at it again, but there's definitely a dynamic of the camera moving around, which adds to the feeling for the audience that we're sort of in the action, that we're looking around, as almost as if we're turning, or the audience might be turning their heads to follow what's going on. So this bit is plot, and you don't really get too many marks for telling the plot. Similarly, this bit, plot, I would lose all of this stuff and stick with the technical stuff. So if we have a look, see how the camera is moving. This is a long shot.
No, you never did nothing. Do have somebody else do it for you.
Okay, and then we cut to this shot. I think you need to say from the long shot, we have the cut where he's kneeling, and you know what this shows, the connotation of this. Here's the over shoulder that you talk about. Back to this one. Okay, and then of course you've talked about this. This is a very important shot, isn't it? The very low angle shot here. That's what you should have here instead of what you've got at the moment. When you do, this doesn't need a capital letter, and you don't really need the asterisk here. You can put an I in there. Think about the time, the shots here. No need to capital letter here. Again, what's going on? What's going on in this actual scene technically? You need to have a look at that again. Okay, so he bends down and kisses his feet. You might want to think about how that's like, it's a sort of Christian thing, that paying tribute, that if you go and see the Pope, you might pay tribute. And remember, this is a Catholic setting. The family, the idea of him, he's Cuban and he's in Miami, and there's a lot of Catholicism in there, so it's a kind of reference to that you might want to bring in. Also, at the beginning, you should talk about the mise en scène and how this scenery here gives an idea of the idealized idea of Miami's beautiful sunsets, whereas in the reality of it is that we have horrible violence going on. It's corrupted, yeah.
No.
Okay. As you say, low angle shot here. Now, something you haven't talked about here that I think is quite interesting. If you have a look, that's where the music starts. You get this low note by the strings, which creates a sense of menace and threat. And then we have the dialogue between these two, the shot reverse shot, the camera moving in slowly here, which increases the sense of threat. But what I thought was interesting, again, the camera's moving in. This line, the side of the table, the black edge of the table here, suggesting the route of the bullet. It's almost like a clue to the audience that this guy is going to get shot in the stomach, you see, or he's going to get shot anyway, just to pick that up. Again, the tension is increased by the camera moving in on Tony.
Fucked up.
Let's go back to what you've written. They talk quietly. They're not real people. You have to talk about the dialogue. The dialogue is soft, something like that. Yeah, ruthlessness, no capital letter. Yeah, don't talk about this being different from what you've had before. Just describe what it is. This I don't. This is not relevant about whether you like the gunshot or not. I think you should talk about what's going on with the camera and the sound there. Also, sound is not mise en scène, and you haven't spelt mise en scène correctly. Mise en scène is about the props and the setting. You could write a whole paragraph on that weird sculpture, what they're wearing, the suits, how the cop has a cop holster, whereas the others have got weapons that connote their gangsterishness, or they can't really say that word. High shot, no capital. Again, not fact. It's to connote his status. Capital W here. Yes, good. Same angle, close up. Not sure what that means. You need to look at that. It's either be more specific about that. Yeah, this is good. Yes, I would say audience, but watcher is fine. And I wouldn't use it twice. Good. So it's kind of wrong footing the audience. It's giving a sense of threat. Yeah, and again, you should talk about, you see that Ernie, the thing about him is he's sweating, isn't it? You could say a little bit more about what the indicators are for him seeing nervous. Don't say that it's done well, because it's Brian De Palma. Pretty much everything he says done well. That's opinion. You need to analyze what's going on. And here, now you're sort of moving into another section. I think you should break them up into smaller paragraphs, these, when you've gone through a sequence. Yeah, that is not true of everybody, so don't say it. Yes, this idea of misleading is quite right. So this idea of the music wrong footing, it's suspense, isn't it? It creates suspense. Suspense is not what actually happens. It's our concern, or an audience's concern, about what might happen. Yes, good about the clock. Good. Okay, might need a little bit of summary there, and you're a bit short on words, so you've got about 500 more words. Maybe you can add in some of the things I've said. Right, not bad. I'd like to see or read some more specific terminology. If you look back at the notes we've made on various things, if you're talking about mise en scène, you need to use it accurately. Again, all the blackness and all the weapons and things like that, I think they're relevant here. The angles of shots, absolutely. The blood in the stomach, there's the gun in the holster, as I was talking about. I can't see it in that shot. The whiskey, the connotation of the whiskey at the end, where Ernie drinks from the bottle of Jack Daniels. I want to say something about these. There's all sorts of mise en scène going on.